2, 3, 4, get my shoes and out the door. 5, I'm alive. 6, 7, 8, feeling great.
Hello and welcome to Between Sessions, a health and fitness podcast powered by the EFM Health Club. We have a very special guest I'm very excited to talk to in a moment, but with me as always from EFM Magill, Wade Brady. How are you?
Good, thank you, Justin. Good.
And from EFM Underdale, Michael Jewson. How are you, Michael?
I'm good, thank you. How are we, boys?
Yes. Fighting fit. Middle of winter, it's great.
Yeah, it's well, look at the beanie.
Yeah.
It's very cold still.
Look at you two rugged up. So today's topic is about bone health. Now, it's not something that we think of a lot until we're told it's actually a problem. For most people, hearing the words osteopenia, osteoporosis can feel like, you know, it's a part of an inevitable decline. But we have a bit of proof today that it doesn't have to be that way. Today's guest has shown us with the right kind of guidance, consistency, training, it's possible to improve your bone density. And her story isn't about just stronger bones, about challenging her own beliefs and embracing something new and proving that her age wasn't going to ever really be a factor. So, Wade, over to you. You can introduce our special guest.
Yes, thank you, Justin. We've got Ping here today, one of our 500 club members. I can see her written on a jumper right there. So yeah, Ping's been kind enough to come on today. We, as everyone at EFM knows, we know our members very well, and I've heard Ping's journey, and she's very, I think, on the ball with quite a lot of the whole spectrum of, you know, the benefits of exercise, and I thought she'd be a really good one to get on and just her first-hand experience, because you know, we're all looking at this from different angles, and I thought it'd be really good to get Ping on and yeah, share her angle. So Ping, what do you do with yourself, and how did you find EFM? What do you like about EFM?
Yeah, thank you for having me. I found EFM firstly a referral by to a friend. She started in November the year before I started. So and she's been raving about it. So when I got my bone density test, and I had osteoporosis in my spine, and then my specialist then said, you know, you have to do weight resistance training. So ultimately I kind of went, oh, okay, I better go and contact Wade. So that's how I started.
Good. And what do you do for work?
So I'm an accountant.
Yep.
I'm retired now. But you know, spend years and years sitting in front of the computer and not active enough really. So yeah.
Well, thank you to your friend, hey.
Oh, yes.
And good on you for listening to her.
Yeah.
But it took that result to instigate, okay,
Correct.
I need to learn something about these gym things.
So basically in October 2022, I had my first bone density scan, and I had osteoporosis in my spine, and I'm osteopenic in my neck and my hip. Yeah.
Did you have any symptoms, Ping? Was anything hurting, or was it just a routine scan?
No, and I suppose it's also another good thing is another friend of mine who's a GP said that she said, look, she always asks all her patients in their, you know, early 50s to just do a bone density scan as a baseline, because, you know, as you get older, it will just get worse. So just having a baseline to compare it to see how you are is always a good indication. So I thought, oh yeah, that sounds like a good idea. So I had no symptoms whatsoever.
Yep.
And I just went and did one. And then it's like, oh, oopsie. Yeah.
I think that's a good point. So I'm going to jump in there. That's a good point to highlight. You might not feel, I mean, you don't wake up in the morning and go, oh, my bone density feels a little low today. So, you know, it's a good thing to just, you know, if you're over 50, go and get it checked. Just go and get it checked. You never know. For example, I've got a member who is regular 5 days a week, training, this, that, the other, rides a bike from here to, you know, out of Port Augusta, back. They do big bike rides. They do these major events. Went on an event last year, I think. rode for 12 hours, went back to the hotel room, tripped over the door frame and broke her ankle, snapped her ankle, both bones. So she was in the realm of, oh, I'm fit, I do this to do that. But then when something happened, we realized, oh, hang on a minute, maybe we're not where we should be. So go and get it checked. Even if you're not having symptoms like Ping was saying, go and have a look.
Because everyone's rate of decline varies, of course.
Absolutely. Yep.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you take us back to that moment you got the results, how did you feel, Ping? Were you surprised, scared? What were the emotions?
I was, I mean, not so much scared, but surprised because I thought, oh, really? Really? That bad? And I wasn't, I was 52 and I thought, oh, surely not. But that's what it says. So, anyway, my GP referred me to an endocrinologist, and the endocrinologist actually said, look, I'll make some sense out of these numbers. Firstly, the numbers are compared against the Australian population. So generally speaking, people are taller, heavier, bigger than me. So, I'm considered quite, petite. So she said, look, most, women my size, my age, probably will be slightly osteopenic. That's not a surprise at all. But the osteopenia osteoporosis in the spine, that one is obviously a concern. But she said, look, the way they assess osteoporosis nowadays is they rate the chances of you breaking a bone. So it depends on what you do, how active you are. So if you're one of those people who likes hiking or cycling and do a lot of more, intense activities, the likelihood of you breaking something is probably higher than someone who's, doesn't exercise or just sit around. So anyway, she assessed it. She said, look, the risk isn't high. However, we need to do three things. One, increase my calcium intake to 1,300 milligrams per day. I needed supplements. I can't get that through diet. She started me on HRT, and then she said, you need to go do weight resistance training. So off I went, and I signed up to EFM. That was 3 years ago.
So the weight resistance training was the first thing that you sort of, how did you feel about starting that?
I dreaded it. I'm like, oh my God, I come on a Monday, I need 2 days rest, and then before I can do it, so I come on a Monday and a Thursday to start, maybe for a month. And then I actually, believe it or not, I actually felt like going, oh, it's getting a bit, easy now. So then I increased it to 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So then that became too easy. Oh, okay, then it's 4 days. And then next thing you know, I'm like here 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how did that make you feel? How did you feel when you discovered that?
It got to a point where the days I don't come, I feel sluggish and I've got less energy. So I had to come. It was no longer optional.
That's great. So I would say that's a benefit, even taking out this whole osteoporosis chat. That's a benefit you found with the EFM anyway. I mean, obviously you got.
I actually sometimes say osteoporosis was the best thing that ever happened to me, because otherwise I wouldn't have done it.
Very good point.
Yeah.
I like that. That's perspective. Nice.
So how did you feel approaching some of the resistance training? So fatigue was one thing. Were there some exercises you dreaded, someone that you liked? How was confidence? Did you feel confident about doing a lot of these movements?
I just did what I could. You push your limits a bit, but I basically did, with a lower weight, started slow and slowly build it up. So it was fun. And also I find the EFM community really welcoming. I think the demographic, and all that is actually very helpful. And everyone's just here to have a workout. And no judgment. So that was really nice. Yeah. And then make you want to come back. So you're not like conscious or, going, oh my God, I can't do this one or anything like that. So I'll just do, if I can do it, I can do it. Well, good. If I can't, well, I have to work on it.
Yeah. If you miss a day or two now, do people say, hey, where were you?
Oh, yeah, definitely. There's a group chat going. I have to say, I'm Monday because.
Bring a sick note from your doctor.
Good.
Yeah. So take us through the progression. So you started, we were talking a little bit beforehand about the weight progression that you've done. So we were talking about deadlifts before, where you started, where we're at now.
The very first time I did a deadlift, I think I did use one of the 10-kilo barbell.
Yep.
That was like,
Yep.
maybe the first month or so. And then, it got to 15 and slowly build it up, and I can now lift 60. I
60 kilos.
probably do a little bit more, but anyway, 60 is
Well above your body weight. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is, that's.
And I just want to throw in there, this is without making it a goal or a big focus too.
Yeah. It's just
It's
gradual.
just general training that you've put forward, Wade, with,
Yep.
I mean, Ping, did you go to Wade and say, sorry to interrupt, did you go to Wade and say, I've been diagnosed with this, or I've been told I need to do this, this is what I want. And you guys went, all right, rather than jumping straight into a heavy, resistance training, Wade, you obviously introduced Ping to this because it is her first sort of, start of her gym career. The EFM program, in the way we do it, obviously covers a lot of weights, and we do a lot of both cross training. So Wade, when you guys had that conversation, it wasn't geared towards osteo stuff? It was just, let's get you moving and see what happens, and the results came.
I don't remember the specific
Actually, I think
conversation.
I told you at our very first meeting.
Yeah.
And then you go, okay. And then I'm like, okay. And then off we went, and we just did whatever was written on the board.
Well, that's what I would have said.
We cover that stuff, yeah.
Coaches have, I guess, PTs in a way are going to angle their training at what they like to do themselves. Like my original boss, who had his EFM, he was a cyclist. So I noticed in his programming, this is many years ago now, but he had a lot of cardio because that's how he liked to train. I like to train when I get in the gym on strength. So my gut feel was there's more to gain out of doing more strength. And if you're doing one set after another, keeping the rest short, you're getting a cardio effect as well anyway. And then as this research has come out, I've like, oh, beauty, I'm already doing that. Awesome. My programs are definitely more strength focused. So that's where I just would have said to Ping, we don't need to change anything. That program will be fine for you.
And I think I like the fact that there's variety, because if I have to do strength every day, you tire yourself out. So you do need a bit of mix. So some days are actually very strength focused, and then next day is a cardio focus. And then there's a bit of this and a bit of that. And then you get sometimes, different coaches writing different programs. That's also nice.
Yep.
Because, something different. Yeah.
Have a different style. Ping, when your doctor said go and do resistance training, is what you've done kind of similar to what you would have pictured at that time? Did it kind of meet your expectations, or?
I had no idea what I was getting myself into.
Yeah.
So I just basically rocked up and go, okay, and no, just do whatever is written.
Do whatever you're told.
Correct.
The beautiful uncertainty of EFM.
Yeah. So, because I'm trying to think about, there's a lady listening to this that has never been in a gym before, a health club, never been to an EFM, and they're mid-50s and they're thinking, oh, well, I've never had a bone scan. Maybe resistance training is something that I should be doing, because you hear it a lot everywhere. How the emotional kind of the emotions of it all. First of all, walking into a gym, seeing other people lifting weights and going, well, is that what I'm supposed to be doing? God, that looks heavy. Geez, this is bad. How you coped with all of that, like, progression. It seems now quite easy, looking back.
Yeah.
It's a great question, though.
I think it's, if anything, it's kind of like going, oh my God, you can do that? Like, how do you do that? And then I'll ask, like, so how long have you been here? And they'll be like, oh, I don't know, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. And I'll be like, okay, all right then.
Yeah.
But, there is a goal. They're like, okay, it can be done. It's possible. And, I think around about 6 months in, and then you're kind of going, oh my God, I'm actually improving.
Yeah.
And the improvement was not insignificant. So it was like going, oh, okay. So you keep going. And then at the 1 year mark, I think, I thought, oh my God, that was quite a interesting year, but it was really good. I initially lost 8 kilos. Now, weight loss was never a goal.
On your radar, yeah.
Yeah, it was like, oh, well, it happened. I wasn't expecting it to happen, but it happened. And then I had to change my wardrobe, so that was
Got to go shopping. You
to
beauty.
go buy new clothes. And then and then slowly, as I actually work more, lift heavier, build more muscle, the kind of the 8 kilo weight loss, and then because slowly went back up again because the muscle build. But it was excellent actually. It was beyond my expectation.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, and all along the process, Wade, do you guys track very well in the gym, or at EFM, the progression of weights? Is that written down? How do you guys do that?
Very well. I wouldn't say very well. It's something I would like to do better, because let's face it, I think Ping's really good at remembering her numbers and her weights, which is an advantage. Some people I find just can't remember from one day to the next what weights they used, which is they're at a disadvantage, I feel like. So we have done plenty of strength challenges where we track progress, and I think that really gives people confidence. Like I think just listening to Ping talk, then I think correct me if I'm wrong, but to paraphrase, when you got to that 6-month mark, you were now really believing in what you were doing, and you had the confidence. So yeah, and just a side question to that, this is another thing that arises quite a lot when people start out, with terminologies, and of course in any industry or field there's acronyms and abbreviations and trying to get your head around the language. I think you probably had a pretty good attitude towards that at the beginning anyway, but did you find that was pretty tricky at the start, and then you got to know the language and that also helped, or that was...
that too, and also being familiar with the equipment and the exercises and what we're trying to do. And the thing is, with like I find with EFM, you can ask, one of the coaches, you can ask one of the other members. It's like, what's that again? Oh yeah, it's this. Oh yeah, all right.
Yeah.
So it's just I think it's intimidating for a first timer. But I think the environment in the EFM is very friendly and very encouraging. So it's quite easy to put you at ease. Basically, you're not in one of those pumping gym with the 20-something-year-olds that are going, oh my God, what am I doing here?
Well, at some point we were going to talk about and introduce that show that was on Channel 7. Is it Insight?
Spotlight.
Spotlight. So we've all watched that episode. It aired maybe a month ago. And the topic was exactly this. It was really about women's health. And, men can... One of the first things when this conversation came up the other day, as a GP that comes in the morning, Manny, she stopped me in my tracks and she said, men can get this as well, And I was like, that's a good point. But that Channel 7 show was all focused on women's health and how they aren't the same as men when it comes to training. Like, I'm sure there's an amount of overlap. So we've all watched that show and we've all probably got different opinions on what was good about it and what it was lacking. So just while I'm thinking of it, my wife's takeaway from that show was, and when I watched it again last night, and they did say about how we get our clients to start off gently and build, and a lot of the people actually wanted to build up faster than what they originally planned because they were growing in confidence so quickly. But I think the problem I had with that show on Channel 7 was with the stuff they showed was people doing heavy back squats for like 5 reps. And Selena said, if I just watched that, like not knowing anything about it, that would have just looked too scary for me. And I don't know what you guys, Ping and I were chatting before, and she agreed. Did you guys pick that up? And I want to get Ping's perspective on that show in a minute too, because yeah, it's just
I'll jump in. I picked that up with what they were talking about, and then what they were showing. It was quite a juxtaposition. Like one thing, you know, you've got a progressive overload. We talk about that a lot. We understand that, and yet, bam, the footage went straight into, you know, someone with the bar on their back and doing max reps. So it is important to probably understand, as Ping would know, it's a journey. This thing is a journey, and I'm not sure that the show maybe painted it exactly 100%. But I mean, how much info can you put out in that amount of time, really? But I thought it was really good in certain parts, but I do agree that maybe it was probably slightly intimidating visually for some people.
What was your take on that show overall, Justin?
Yeah, my take with the images on that show is that it's still entertainment for a TV show. You know, it's there for impact. People look at that and go, okay, so doing these squats, heavy back squats that's resistance training. So I think it's a little counterproductive, but also I look at everything through a bit of a lens of, I'm a little bit cynical. I think we all know that by now, and it's pure entertainment in the end, I think, and it has a really nice message, but you got to look at that with a little bit of an entertainment lens. Yeah. I thought what was really good, and Ping, I was going to ask you, we spoke a bit earlier, and you tracked your weights along the process. Test results, because that one of they mentioned that show the lady had you know, an improvement in her bone density. How have your results tracked along this process?
Yeah, so I had my second test in October 2024, and my bone density improved by 5%. And when I saw my specialist about it, and she said you would normally lose between 1% to 2%. So the fact that you gained 5% meant that not only did you not lose your 1% to 2%, you gained, so you probably gained like, you know, probably 8% really, which I was, you know, very happy about. And she said, look, whatever exercise you're doing, keep going, because that's helping and it's working. And she said, I really, really want to see you in 2 years' time and see what that looks like. Because, you know, that will be, because, you know, I think she said, look, you tell your patients, you know, you got to do this and this, but how many of them actually listen to you, and how many of them actually do what you actually do. And I remember the day I did my second test, you know, the radiographers usually, you know, they're very poker faces. They don't tell you your results. And then this lady, she was really funny. She sat in front of the computer and she went, oh, and I said, what? And she said, oh, nothing. I said, oh, now you can't say nothing now. And she's like, oh, all right then. She's like, oh, can I see? Is it better? And she's like, oh, I haven't seen numbers like this in a while, because she wasn't expecting it to have such a big improvement. And so I sat down, I had a look, and she showed me. And then it's really funny because she then spent 5 minutes asking me what I do.
She wanted to know more. Lovely.
She wanted to know, because she's also about similar age, and she said, oh, maybe I need to do that too. So it was quite an interesting appointment, really. Yeah.
I like that response way more than whatever you're doing, keep doing it.
Yeah.
Don't they want to know what you're doing? And
well,
because
I did tell her what I was doing.
Well, because she was invested and it's affecting her, she said, what are you doing, rather than keep doing what you're doing. It's funny how it changes when you're involved.
Yeah.
You need to carry some business cards, Ping, and when people ask you, you just hand them out. I just want to jump back quickly to what you were saying earlier, Ping, when we lose 1% to 2%, that's per year. So we just clarify per year. Most people will lose about 1% to 2%. So yeah, that's awesome. Well done.
And I just want to throw in there that going back to our general training with a bigger strength focus, there's still all the cardio's, so her cardio health would be really well on track. And then there's all the supplementary exercises like balance exercises. We do our hip training. So I think with it, if we made that a real specific goal and cut down on all the other stuff, the numbers might be a little bit better, but do they really need to be? If this is like a part of your life now, and That was your first 18, 12 months. That
First, every 2 years I get a test.
so that was 2 years of that
After
increase.
It would be maybe 18 months after I started EFM.
Okay, so that increase was in 18 months.
Correct.
Your second 18 months,
Yeah.
you've attended quite a lot more,
Yes.
and you lift quite a lot heavier now.
Correct.
So
I imagine the numbers should look.
I wish I had a DEXA scan in the back corner. I would love to know what it is now.
Yeah.
My guess would be it'd be that improvement again.
Yeah.
But
The minimum.
we have to report back, I think, on this one to see
Yes.
what.
I was going to say we'll need to come back to that, and we'd lovely to hear back from you about that one, Ping.
This is so good to know that those results came from 2-3 sessions a week, doing general all over everything.
And also
Yeah.
like in May, I with a couple of ladies, we actually did a 26-kilometer walk from Handorf to Beaumont.
That was when, sorry?
That was in May.
That was in May, yeah.
It took me 6 hours, but if you told me 3 years ago that I'll be doing a 26-kilometer walk,
Yeah, that's what you've evolved to
Yes,
when it all
correct.
started with, I need to toughen my bones up a bit.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah.
So, Ping, so do you think this changes your view now that you're retired of how you age? Do you think, that you have a different perspective now on what to expect?
I actually think I have more energy now and I'm more active now than I was 10, 20 years ago.
Mm.
Yeah. So health-wise, I think I'm fitter now than ever before.
Yeah.
I want to jump back to that TV show again. I find this really interesting what Justin said compared to what you said when we were chatting before we went online. Now, Justin's perspective was, doesn't everybody know this already?
Actually, no.
Ping said she said the opposite, as in she understood what they were talking about because she has 3 years of training experience. But what did you say to me?
I said, look, if I watched it and I went, okay, I understood everything. However, if 3 years ago, if I were to watch that, I wouldn't understand much. It would just go over my head and it wouldn't sink in.
It's
Interesting.
Correct. And it also makes me think like, oh my God, you have to go to a special bone clinic and go through this special test. But it doesn't tell you things like, what can you do about it? Like if someone watching will say, well, maybe as a first step, everyone should go and ask your GP for a bone scan, for a referral and go get one done. And then, if you need to, you need to go talk to your, so what can you do? Like, rather than being in a special bone clinic, doing a special test kind of program.
I thought the same thing too when I watched it. I thought it sounds like this really exclusive place in Brisbane. So it's like, how do you get into that place? First, I'd have to get a plane ticket. But so in the club, the week following when that show aired, we were having a conversation in here, and another retired GP, I quizzed them on. I was like, how accessible are these DEXA scans? And Sue's like, I think she said 2 out of 3, places where you get your scans taken. That's right. Yep. I think she said 2 out of 3 or have the ability to take that scan. Like basically, if you go to your GP, you're going to find there's a handful within a 5 or 10 minute drive. So that part's not a problem. And I think she said if you're over a certain age, they're free.
Yeah.
And if you're not quite that old yet, I think they're $70.
Yeah, depending on where you go. I mean, it could be if you got concession and stuff, it could be around the 50 to 70. But if you're paying full fee, and the first month, my very first one, I paid a full fee, and that cost me about 150.
Yeah, and nowhere in that show did they. This is very simple information that's nationwide.
Yeah.
And
so Medicare doesn't pay for it, but your very first one, but because I got diagnosed with osteoporosis the first time, after my first scan, my subsequent ones are now covered by Medicare.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess the encompassing all of that is start that conversation everybody listening today, go and talk to 5 different people and ask them if they've done it. Have you done it? Start that conversation amongst your group. Go and get tested. I mean, with you, Ping, obviously, I can sort of tell from your personality, you're an information seeker. You want to learn, you want to build. I want to understand what I'm doing, which is really good. So maybe, a few people out there that really interesting what you said about the fact you didn't quite know all of this stuff, because as Justin was saying, we in our heads think, oh, common knowledge. Obviously not, but encourage. I think we should all encourage, and I'm doing it now. Talk to everybody. Talk to 5 friends. Go and get tested. Do some information. Do some research and find the information like Ping has, and change your world. Really, I think that's. I think it's important. Start the conversation.
It's funny. I think common knowledge is more narrow now, because we're all what we consume there's so many different algorithms now, and if you've never had an interest in training or your health really in your body, how do you learn this stuff? And that was on Channel 7, and it's good to see that the mainstream are putting it out there, but so many people don't. They go to their subscription service and they're not. Where do they get this information from? So it's
Yeah, I think a lot of people also think that to do all of that, you need a PT, and it's quite, it's obviously more costly and that kind of thing. And it's like, oh, do I want a PT? All those things. Do I want someone following me around? So that's why I actually do like this group structure at EFM, because it's actually there is the coach is there, but you also have a lot of other people around you doing the same thing.
It's funny how you can look at it. I was just driving before, and I thought you can look at this so many different ways. Like if this was really important to you, but you thought you needed a PT to get this reversal happening, but if you really wanted it and couldn't afford it, some people would probably be, I'll do an extra hour overtime every week, so that'll enable me to do it, and then I can fix this issue with my bones dissolve, breaking down. I
mean, the key point also is, doing all of this, you're saving, you're avoiding having to take medication.
You're investing in your body.
Correct.
You're investing in your health.
Because one of the first things that I was slightly worried about when I went to see my specialist was, oh my gosh, she's gonna make me, because I read about all the various injections, twice a year, once a year, that kind of stuff. And I thought she was going to suggest that, and she actually did not. And she said, we will leave that for in 10, 20 years time. If you absolutely need it, of course, I'll give it to you. But right now, you don't need it. You do this. Let's
Good
see.
advice.
Yeah.
Another benefit.
And I would rather not have to be taking any injection of any type. If I can help it.
Do you think, Ping, that you have you dragged anyone into EFM or got them exercising someone else since you started?
Yes, I have. Some came and left because they can't. They just anyway. And
I found some excuse.
Yeah.
Look, there's always a million excuses why you can't make it in, and why you can't continue. But
Ching and her husband's, he's on board as well, and he's doing really well. The majority of friends that my friends actually say, oh, great, it's great, but no, I can't do it. I'm not a gym person.
Yeah.
Who was born a gym person anyway? Maybe
nobody.
Schwarzenegger's kids, but who else?
I'm not.
It's funny, kind of investing in your body this way. Imagine if in your 30s and 40s and 50s you went, I know about this superannuation thing, but it's not really for me.
It's not for me. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure if it works. Don't worry about the millions of other people that it's worked for in the past. But hey,
I'm not really into it.
Is it simply just the effort that puts people off? I have to go and put effort in. It's hard. I think. Is it?
It's that age-old saying: if it was easy, everybody would do it. It's not easy, which we understand, but it's worth it. It's totally worth it. And as I can see with Ping, before, I'm not sure, Ping, maybe tell us, before you were told any of this, before any of this started, what was your attitude towards the gym? Was it, I don't exercise in general?
I do Pilates, I do yoga, but not gym.
Yeah. And look at you now.
And here I am.
Gym junkie.
Yeah.
Maybe. Maybe.
Yeah.
And would you say that's mostly, I always think that nothing motivates more than results. So when you start to see those results and you start to feel better, that motivates you. Or was it simply the man sitting next to you that, with his bad dad jokes and personality plus and the EFM community, a bit of both, I would say.
If anything, you also see the other members, like you see, Audrey's who's 82, and
Yeah.
she comes and she does, and then you kind of look at her going, I want to be her when I'm 82.
Me too. Yeah.
Amazing.
You get front row
And
seats
then you
to
see
what's
Penny,
possible.
and then
if you
Penny,
stick-
and she's so unwell and she still comes.
She's had her battles and she just keeps turning up.
And
And
it's an inspiration, really.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think the one thing you learn too about you're putting that hard work in is it makes the rest of the day easier.
Mm.
You walk out every time feeling satisfied.
I've never regretted coming to a session.
Still good. The run's still alive.
Well, I think you're the inspiration for us now, and I hope that everybody listening, if they're in that age group and they're worried, they go and get a scan and then start some resistance training. Look, you don't need a scan. Just go and start some resistance training. Pop into your local EFM, and if there's not an EFM near you, hunt out something. Get started, because the longer you wait, your bone density peaks at 30 and then is on a steady decline. So if you wait till you're 70 before picking something up, you're probably in a bit of trouble by then.
It's still doable. Still do it if you need to, but you have probably started a little bit late. And if you're not near an EFM, move house.
Yeah.
It's just that simple. You don't
That
have to
simple.
stay where you are.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks.
Just let me quickly say, when we talk about resistance training, it doesn't always mean picking up a weight. Like, what do we do, fellas, when we get someone in to squat? Like, we get them to sit on a chair or a box or a bench, and we get them to stand up, and we get them to sit down again. We get them to stand up, and then if that's tough, then we might make the box a bit higher. That is resistance training, and that's where we start.
Yeah.
We don't start with a big barbell on the back. If you go and find this show on Channel 7, you'll certainly talk about, they do say we start people off small and we meet them where they're at and we build from there. But I just wish they showed it. But anyway,
Yeah.
everyone
It's a
knows
good-
now if they heard this.
It's a good summary. I think Ping's, put it together pretty well. It's not hard. Just make that decision and go and do it. You don't have to go to a specialist 3 times a week and pay ridiculous amounts of money. Go to your local EFM, speak to your local Wade and tell them the story. Ping, was it really, now that you've got yourself 5 days a week and you've made it, work for you and you put it into your regime, is it really hard to factor that in?
It's just part of my day.
Part of your day.
It's no longer. It's just what I do. Yeah.
Yeah. So good in summary, I think, just go and get it checked. Go and have a look. Don't be too intimidated by it. It is totally possible. Come and see us. We can help. We've literally got proof sitting right here that it works.
Thanks, Ping. You did bloody good. She did very good.
Yeah. Ping, you're a champion. Wade's very lucky to have you, not the other way around.
I agree.
Yeah, that'll do us for today, boys. Thank you again. Thank you, Ping. Thanks, Wade. Thanks, Michael. Find us on Instagram at all of our places, Facebook. We'll see you in a fortnight. Catch you soon.
Have a good one.
Thanks, team. Thank you, Ping.
Bye.
See ya.